Okay, welcome to Foundations and Pre-Calculus Math 10 with Mr. Johns. We are just getting going on Chapter 6. If you did the math lab yesterday, you would have explored this concept. And so here's 6.1, which is the slope of a line. So we want to find the slope of a line segment. And there's a very specific way when we're talking about slope what we mean. So the steepness or slope of a line segment is given by the rise over the run. So the rise is the distance up or down, and the run is the distance left or right. The rise is the change in vertical distance. Moving up is positive, and moving down is negative. The run is the change in horizontal distance. So moving right is positive, and moving left is negative. So we can consider the rise and the run of a line and then talk about how steep it is, or its slope. So a line segment that goes up and to the right, we say has a positive slope. So it is a positive rise over a positive run. A line segment that goes to the left or downhill, I like to think, has a positive rise and a negative run. So one negative makes a negative. Now, you could count the run and the rise, and then you'd be counting a positive run and a positive rise. In this case, we'd be doing a negative run and a positive rise. So you can count either way. We can also say the line segment goes down and to the right. A horizontal line has no rise, and therefore that is 0, and it doesn't matter which way it goes. So basically, the slope of a horizontal line is 0. When a line or line segment is on a grid, we can count squares to find the rise or run. So this one would be the rise is 2, and the run is 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 over 4. So the slope, if we reduce this, is 1 over 2. Now the first thing we're going to do is find the slope of a line segment, and we're just going to count the grids to do that. Or just use the numbers they provide. So in this first one, they tell me the rise is 3 and the run is 4. So rise over run is 3/4. If the rise is 1 and the run is -2, we're going to have 1 over -2. And this is equal to -1/2. So this is going to slope downwards, right? This one was upwards. In the next case, I have a rise of 4 and a run of -2. Rise over run. And this is equal to 4 divided by -2 is -2. And so this would be a steeper line down. Rise of 2, run of 10, which reduces to 1/5. And so this is a very low sloped uphill. For number 2, this line segment here, AB, or BA, goes up and to the left. But I like to think of it as down and to the right, so downhill. So its slope is negative. It has a rise of 1, 2, 3, 4, and a run of essentially -1. So it's 4 over -1, which is equal to -4. Line RQ goes up and to the right, or uphill, so its slope is positive. It has a rise of, I want to go to here, this amount, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a run of, all the way to here, will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So its slope is 4 over 7. Next, we're going to be drawing a line given a line segment, or draw a line segment given its slope. And here, we want to draw a line segment EF with each slope. So a slope of 2 can be written as 2 over 1. So the rise is on top, remember, rise over run, it's 2, and the run is 1. So we choose any point on the grid. I'm going to say -2, -2. Label it E. And then from E, we're going to move up 2 units, so 1, 2. move up, sorry, 2 units up and 1 unit right. So 1, 2, and 1 right. Make a point and label it F. And then I want to use a ruler to connect those points. And this is a line with a slope of 2 over 1. To do one that has a slope of -5/3, I'm going to leave it as -5 over 3. I'll put the negative on top. Doesn't really matter though. So the rise is -5 and the run is 3. Choose any point E on the grid. So let's say 2, 2. Actually, I'm going to choose a point a little higher because I know I'm going to be going down and right. Let's say 6, 2. Now we want to move 5 units down, which is negative, and 3 units right, which is positive. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, and here's our next point. So this will be E, this will be F, and then I'll use a ruler to connect. So we could, this just shows you with a line, we can have a slope of 3 or 6 over 2 is equal to 3. It just depends what points you use, but it's the same line. So we can find the slope of a line choosing any 2 points that go right through where the grid is. The slope of a line is equal to the slope of any segment of the line, whether it's a small bit or a bigger bit. So now we're going to find the slope using 2 points on a line, and this can be quite tricky, but I'll show you how it's done. Basically what we want to do is choose 2 points. So they say choose P, which is -3 and 3. So left -3 up to 3, so this is P. And Q, which is 2 and 1, so this is Q. And we want to find the rise and the run. So we're going to choose 1, 2 up, and then the run from this point would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which was left, so that's -5. So I'm going to always put the negative on top. The rise over run is -2/5, so that is the slope, -2/5. Now remember, a slope of 1 is a 45-degree angle in this case. So if it's smaller than 1, which this is, this would be a slope of -1. If it's smaller than 1, it'll be less steep. If it's bigger, like -8, would be steeper. So kind of double check your answer based on the steepness. Oh yay! The last thing we have to learn in this case is now just using 2 points on a line. But instead of counting the grid, we're actually going to use the points and their values. So the difference in the 2 y values becomes the rise, and the difference in the 2 x values becomes the run. And this is exactly what we did when we found rate of change in chapter 5. So y2 minus y1 equals the rise, and x2 minus x1 equals the run. Now what you have to be careful to do is make sure your x2 and y2 are being the first ones and your x1 and y1 are being the second ones. So let's try an example. So find the slope of a line that passes through -4 and -7 and point H, which is 3 and 8. So I want to use the slope of GH. G will be x1 and y1, and H will be x2 and y2. So x1 will be -4, y1 will be negative 7, which I'm getting here and here. X2 will be 3, and Y2 will be 8. So we want 8 minus negative 7 over X2, which is 3 minus negative 4. Now in this case, I want to add the opposite, add the opposite. So 8 plus 7 is 15. 3 plus 4 is 7. So the slope of the line is 15 over 7. So we want to plot these 2 points. So negative 4 and negative 7 will be here. This is G. Then we want to go to positive 3 and up 8, which is here. This is H. And connect these 2 points using a ruler or a straight edge. And the line goes up and to the right, so it is positive. It's quite steep, so this is greater than 1 because this would be like 2 and 1/7. So it's steeper than 45. And let's count the grid. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 up and to the right, and agrees with the positive value on the slope. But I just want to double check. I went 15 up and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So counting grids, it also works out. So I did it correct. Okay, for your assignment, for section 6.1, I want you to do number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, you don't have to do 4B and do number 5, but don't do number 6. Okay? So, number 1, 2, 3, 4A, and 5. Good luck. Let me know if you need help.